typical drum microphone complement. We have an inside mic, which is super cardioid, narrow pattern. We have a Yamaha subkick, which is a speaker built inside of a drum. Let me turn this around here and you can see it. It's a speaker built inside of a drum, and it picks up all the sub frequencies, hence its name subkick. That's a Bear Dynamic M88, that's a Yamaha subkick. We have a SM57 on the top of the snare, an SM57 beta on the bottom of the snare. We have SM beta 56s on all four of the toms. We have KSM 32s overhead, and those are all Shure microphones that I mentioned. And then we have a CAD Omni dynamic microphone over the drummer's head, and that picks up the drummer's perspective, basically what he hears. We have an Audio-Technica 4041 for the hi-hat, and we have an AKG C3000 for the ride cymbal. The reason I did that is I wanted to get the ride on its own, separate from the rest of the overhead, so I could focus on the other cymbals and not have to EQ those certain frequencies in or out of my overhead. But the ride's pretty loud, it's coming through everything. Here we have 6 feet away. This is our room mic. It's an Audio-Technica 4047. It is 6 feet away from the center of the kick drum. From this point, this is the perspective of a cardioid microphone. It picks up the entire drum set. I do that because when you stand away from a drum set, it sounds different than standing behind a drum set. It's a perspective. After that, we have one of my favorite mics ever, is the ADK Tube Area 51. This is a 9-pattern dual diaphragm microphone. It has a tube in it. It's warm in case it gets cold in here. And here are a couple of ADK A51s in an XY pattern, pointing a little bit down on the kit so it picks up all the low end of the floor. Speaking of getting a low end on the floor, here we have a pair of Crown boundary microphones. As you can see, they're pointing a different direction than the ADKs. It's because I want to get a different perspective of the room, and I really like warmth and low end. There's no better way to get low end than taping things down to the floor. Those things are taped down to the floor, so it doesn't get any lower than that.